juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lake. Coming to you live, putting on for the city. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lake. And we back. Zeus P, St. Jude. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn.
All right, I'm driving. Okay. All right, man. What's up, Austin, man? Welcome back to another exciting live edition of the 1-hour news break, brought to you by the 2-hour lunch break podcast. I'm your co-host, Trotwood Zeus, and we are thrilled to be coming to you live right here from East Austin, Texas. And I got my co-host,
Saint. What up, y'all? First and foremost, we want to give a special shout out to Dawa Studios for making this live podcast possible. Big ups to them and also everyone in the background keeping this community thriving.
So for those of you who are new to the 1-hour news break, I know you're probably familiar with the 2-hour lunch break podcast, man. Normally we're all about, shining the spotlight on, all of the, the black and brown, movers and shakers in the cities, the entrepreneurs, the artists, anybody that's making anything happen in town. But today, we're taking things a bit differently. Normally we do, deep dives with the interviews. But this time, me and my co-host, we're just chopping it up, about the latest and greatest in Austin and, some nationwide current events.
So sit back, relax, and let's get into some real talk. And as always, you can check us out on all digital streaming platforms. But don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at the 2HLB Pod and on X at the 2-hour lunch.
All right, Austin, let's get to it. Here we go. We got the intro.
And we back. Zeus P, St. Jude. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lake. Coming to you live, putting on for the city. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lake. And we back. Zeus.
All right, man. So first topic on the docket, man. Austin City Council.
Yeah.
They approved the home lot size of all homes in the city. Reducing the minimum lot size to one building unit.
Right.
So I know the home options of middle income empowerment. It's a 2-part initiative led by District 7 Council Member Leslie Poole. They're seeking out to allow more and different kinds of housing to be built by amending the city's land development code. It was passed on a 9-2 vote and approved Friday. The minimum lot size needed to build for one housing unit in Austin is 5,750 feet. It'll be brought down to 1,800. I was gonna say, man, an initiative like that, it proposed changes to the land development code that it comes some years prior before the city council. I know it's really controversial. I was gonna say, what are you thinking about it?
Man, I think while I do think it's a good initiative and it definitely helps our community, especially when it comes to gentrification and displacement, and specifically for individuals who are, as we've learned during this podcast, unhoused, right? I think it definitely can cause some uproar, and I've heard about some critics having some uproar, basically saying as it could be, face risks of due to fire or higher housing density, and then also in the same token, displace, while it is offering lower housing opportunities for the housing requirements, but it is also could potentially displace our black and brown community that we serve here in Austin. So yeah, I think that might be a difficult struggle that maybe, I don't know, maybe a double-edged sword for Austin. How do you feel about it?
So I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm really on the fence. One, I do think I'm a big fan of really, really dense housing.
Right.
Right. So I know if you've ever been like to, any other cities and like major metro areas, like when you think of like the East Coast, like when you think of like Philly and DC and New York, just for example, it's a lot of dense housing. The public transportation quality in comparison to Austin is really, really high. So I think those are net positives, right? But I do feel like maybe there should be some studies.
Yeah.
Maybe we should flesh that out because a lot of those cities, bro, like they're not dealing with some of the issues that we're dealing with. Just like you were saying, a big issue in Austin is gentrification and displacement, right? And it's like, okay, once this dense housing happens, what happens to, like, say for instance, if we want to throw dense housing onto the east side, right? Who is that dense housing going to be for, right? Like, is it going to be for the people that have been in Austin, specifically on the east side, for generations and generations? Or is it going to be for people that are coming in from out of town? You got somebody that's coming in from like, Idaho or, Minneapolis or something like that. Right. And, it's like, oh yeah, there's cheap housing on the east side where the blacks used to be. You know what I mean? Like who is that gonna be for?
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence. I do think I do think some additional studies need to be run. I do think they should try to flesh this out a little bit more because the general public, they really haven't given us a ton of information about it. They just approved it, and then that was it.
Well, yeah, I mean, even to your point, right, about the even moving to the east side where the blacks were, right?
Right, yeah,
Isn't that where if anybody knows Austin like that, black people were originally on the west side.
That too, yeah.
So let's if we're really unpacking it, are we really talking about the same thing that happened in the past, recycling itself, and we're just we're looking at it from a different point of view, and they're entitling a home phased 1 and 2 as a mask, or is it something very, very deeper that's inclined to help and assist? I know another big quarrel that comes to mind when I think about that is also security, right? Like when people are in those tight knit areas, how safe and how secure is it with those dense populations and areas? So I would definitely be curious to learn about that. And plus, in addition to that, maintaining that space, right? So what does that look like for the people coming into that housing space?
Right.
Are they in the workforce? Are they looking for assistance? What can they provide to help that community thrive?
Yeah,
I think that's everything. That's anybody who, when you move into a new neighborhood, you want to know, right? Is the population good? Can I trust my neighbors? You know what I'm saying? If somebody's looking at my car some weird way, is Aunt Nancy down the street gonna let me know, like, hey baby, somebody was staring at your car last night. We need to watch them. Right. I'm the neighborhood watch for this community. So. Right. Yeah, I'm intrigued, but yeah, like you said, I agree with you. I'm kind of on the fence about it. We'll see.
Yeah. So okay. So kind of piggybacking off what you were saying.
Yeah.
If it's honestly, bro, like if it's done the right way, it can do some amazing things.
Absolutely.
Right. Because like I said, I'm a proponent of dense living. Right. I think a big benefit. It increases walkability. Of a city. You don't have to, drive all over the place. That's bringing down your CO2 emissions in the city. Pollution decreases. Right. Things of that nature. Cost of living most likely will be decreasing. I mean, it's just kind of started in the city.
Yeah.
That's because so much housing has been built so far.
Right.
So if you were to further make that even more dense, I think you would see those numbers start to come down. So if done right, it can do a lot of good. But I mean, keep in mind, we know that the city of Austin, man, they not 100 when it comes. we gonna be real.
Yeah. Exactly.
The city of Austin, like I love being from here, but the city of Austin as an entity, as an institution, has not necessarily had all of its citizens' best interests in mind when it comes to decisions in housing, and stuff like that. So if you put the right people in place to handle this the correct way, it could do amazing things. But if you let the wrong people get a hold of this, it's gonna be nasty work, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be piece up.
So yeah, I think it's about whose hands do you put this in, and how do you execute that plan. You know what I mean? Because if it like I was saying, if it's done right, this can affect the city positively for generations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there can be dense living, there can be, you know, like I said, cost of living can go down, that can last for generations.
Right.
But if you just, you know, give it to anybody that's all about a buck, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah. There's
you
no
know,
telling. There's
with
no telling.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it could, yeah, like you said, it can go awry. It doesn't matter what, but I'm excited to see what the city has to offer, and the city does. Hopefully, they take a step in the right direction. But we're gonna take our time and see. But with that being said, regarding Austin Base, Indeed.com cut some jobs this week,
Yeah,
right? Roughly
peep
around
that.
1,000 jobs and about 8% of his global workforce
Yeah.
due to a layoff. The online job search site is a global workforce. The CEO, Chris Hines, announced that a letter to the employees on Monday and asked how the cutting might affect Austin's headquarters. And a spokesman from the company not only commented beyond the letter, but it says one of the largest tech firms reported that its employees, 2,800 people in Austin, are now down to 100 employees from the earlier year. So 100 employees here in the city of Austin have been let go, and over 1,000 across the nation, which is an 8% decrease. This is really, really big, and this is probably a lot of the trend when it comes to, like, you know, the economy in and of itself. What do you feel about some stuff that's going on like this?
Yeah, I'm curious. Well, one thing that really is kind of striking is like the lack of transparency, right? Because one thing is, you know, they cut all these people. If I recall correctly, I think you said like 8% of the workforce, right? That's 1,000 jobs, right? So for a company that large, that's a major deal. You know what I mean? And to do that without giving anybody any heads up, it's just like, all right, we letting y'all go, and that's gonna be that. Like the thing is, a lot of people have moved for those jobs. Like Indeed is a big is a big power broker in the city. You know, along with a lot of the other companies that have moved into town. So, I mean, I don't know if this is like an omen of what could be coming down the line. Because I'm not going to lie, bro. My personal opinion with Indeed, dog.
Yeah.
I've used Indeed for years.
Of course.
Have not gotten one interview.
Wow.
I've used Indeed for years, bro.
Wow.
I have applied hundreds of times at this point. I've applied hundreds of positions.
What's going on, Indeed? Holla at me.
like Indeed, what's up, bro? Like the employees that y'all do have, what have we been doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely heard. I definitely heard the platform has been a little funky. But you know, I think what it's really challenging and interesting is a lot of these organizations, these large corporations, they'll do job releases or layoffs, right?
Yeah.
But still be in the positive, right?
Bruh.
Still be in the earning. So it's really, really interesting, because I know some other companies and corporations that have happened dissimilar too, like your Dell, like your video game companies and stuff like that. Some of the technology companies here in the city of Austin have done some minor layoffs here and there, but they're still identifying a profit in the overall organization. So that may be something, you know, some of the organizational structures kind of, you know, moving puzzle pieces around to help you figure it out to save money. But yeah, you're right. That platform is kind of, y'all need to fix that.
It's shaky, bro.
I don't know if it's us or it's y'all, but y'all need to fix that.
Dog. So I mean, I think mainly more than anything, I think it's kind of indicative of what you're seeing from the tech industry overall.
Yeah.
Right. Like the tech industry as a whole, man. They've been taking some hits.
Yeah, man.
When you think about all those major companies, you think about Indeed. I'm trying to think of who else off the top of my head. Even Tesla.
Tesla. Yeah.
And that's just in Austin.
Right.
I know we got a couple other companies in town that have done some layoffs, kind of just out of the blue. And I think this is, like I said, this is indicative of something that's going on nationwide. I think the tech industry as a whole, it's not looking the best.
It's not looking the best.
I don't know what that job market is going to look like. Honestly, I see a lot more of this happening. I see a lot of downsizing coming in the industry. You know what I mean? So
I think it's part of the economy that we're experiencing right now.
Bingo.
Right? I think it's just, I mean, shoot, even the housing market is still crazy, as you said. Even though we're still building homes rapidly, the housing market is still insane and nuts. Like right now, they said the average APR rate for a house is 7.25.
Crazy, bro.
Like
Crazy.
you're basically spending a quality chunk of money just to get a house on interest rate.
Arm and a leg, fam.
Like, fam, that makes no sense at all. And furthermore, just some of the loops and hoops that you got to go through in order to qualify for a home.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having, some of that struggle that most of our people do have with their credit. You know what I'm saying? Like that may be a struggle and difficult challenge.
Yeah.
But I think that it's very telling. It's very telling.
Right.
I agree.
Right. Yeah, man. Like I said, kind of going back to those employees, man, prayers up for them, because the thing is, I mean, stuff like this, especially layoffs that are unexpected, this can be, for some people, if you aren't prepared, especially in this economy, bro, that's a total windfall.
That's a hurt.
You know what I mean?
That's
something life-changing. And just like I was saying earlier, bro, like a lot of people that are working for Indeed aren't from here.
Yeah, right.
They're moving and I think Indeed came from the Bay.
Yes.
Like I think they came from like San Francisco.
That's correct.
Right? And so you got a lot of that staff, transferred from there to Austin solely to work for Indeed. And I'm sure some of those staff members were a part of that group that came from, the original site over there, and now they're let go. It's like, hey, I'm in Texas now.
Yeah. Right.
And I came to work for y'all. Yeah. Now what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? And in this economy, you were just talking about the APR. It's the housing market is crazy. I just think it was, if they were gonna do it, I do feel like it was handled poorly. There haven't been any details of what their severance packages are gonna look like. It looks like they're gonna have some kind of town hall meeting. Actually, today they're scheduled for a town hall meeting, a global town hall meeting, with all Indeed executives.
Wow.
So I don't know how much transparency that's going to have for the rank and file employees with Indeed. We'll see. I guess they're going to be talking about the overall organizational structure. That doesn't sound like the most positive thing. If we
what
gonna keep
does
it
that
above,
even mean?
You know what I mean? So,
well, for you Indeed employees, if y'all know an Indeed employee, tell them to give us the info. Give us the details. We need to know what's going on.
let us know how to get it. Let us know how did y'all
Give us
help
the
people
algorithm.
get hired?
Yeah, right. Give us the
One,
algorithm.
like, let us know that. Plug us in with the algorithm. Plug us in with the algorithm, bro. Like, for real. So yeah, man.
Get us right. Get us together, man.
Right,
Because
right.
most importantly, really, what we want is, we want to be able to get on that algorithm, get on that platform, click the button, apply easy, one stop shop apply,
Right.
and get a call, right?
There we go.
So let us know how we can help.
There we go.
Help y'all help us.
So yeah, man. So other news in the city, right?
Okay,
Well, actually, in the state.
Okay.
Starting off this week, early voting for Texas's runoff election has started this past Monday.
Okay.
The joint primary runoff election featured contests for offices in which no candidate. Well, this is in Travis County.
Okay.
So the joint primary runoff election in Travis County featured contests for offices in which no candidate received more than 50% of the votes in the March 5th election. So this is a very tight race. So they're basically doing a revote for this entire deal. So for Travis County, we're looking at a couple different elections.
Okay.
One is for the Justice Third Court of Appeals District, Place 2. This is a Democratic runoff.
Okay.
This is with Mr. Edward Smith and Miss Maggie Ellis. Then we have another for the United States Representative, District 35. This is a Republican runoff. Michael Rodriguez and Stephen Wright. Do you have any idea about these candidates?
No clue. I'm not gonna even front on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Okay.
I'm in Wilco.
Okay.
Right. So I can't actively participate right now. So yeah, I've been in Wilco for a little bit.
Okay.
So I can't actively participate in the Travis County.
But this is your bag, though. 'Cause
Right, yeah.
This is your bag.
So for me,
Yeah.
right, like I think a lot of people get caught up in elections at the national level when you're talking about the president and
course.
Biden and Trump, and we're not even gonna get into that right now.
Yeah, not at all.
So I'm a big proponent of voting in your local elections. I do think, of course, voting in presidential elections is very important. You should be able to have a choice on who you want to run the country.
Yeah.
Right. But with that said, though, you can get more tangible results, and this is me opining. You get more tangible results by voting in your local election. These are the people that you're going to be seeing day in and day out. These are people that you're going to be able to, touch. These are, the representatives. They're actually going to be representing you at higher levels. So yeah, get out and vote early. I'm going to be doing the same thing in Wilco. I'm going to be dragging my wife to the voting office, right? So you have between May 20th and May 24th to vote early. Your local polls are going to be open May 28th. They're also going to be open on May 28th. This is election day, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So like I said, those elections at Travis County, this is Travis County.
Yeah.
Justice, Third Court of Appeals District, Place 2, United States Representative, District 35. These are the two elections that are in place right now for Travis County at the local level. If you want to do some more research into that, feel free. But yeah, that's what we are looking at right now.
So let me ask you a question in regards to this. Right
Yes,
here.
sir.
When you are looking, let's say for example, you're in Wilco, like you talked about.
Okay.
So it's a different district. But when you're looking at your candidate, what are I'm not asking you to tell me your thoughts and opinions, because we want everybody to vote on their own, own reconnaissance and own research. But what do you look for when you're looking for a quality candidate?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm going to look at somebody who's, and we're talking about policy. I'm not even going to get into ideals.
Yeah.
Right. But as far as their policy aligns with what I feel like the route that we need to take as far as like the government.
I got you.
And I'm not even going to get into left or right. If for all intents and purposes for this
or
live
down.
podcast, I'm independent. I'm gonna just leave it
Straight
at
up
that. We're
indie.
not even gonna get too deep
Straight
into
up
the
indie.
tinfoil league, because I'll get real deep into the this is what they do talk. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, so for me, a big thing is public policy. I'm not gonna get caught up in a candidate being charismatic or good looking or whatever. I do not care. I like, for all intents and purposes, that's not beneficial to me.
Right.
What is the public policy?
Right.
And how is that going to benefit what happens in the local area, whether that's your county, whether that's your district, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like that supersedes anything else that you could potentially get caught up in. I don't want anybody that just is the most articulate. I want somebody that's going to actually put some things in place, make some things be effective. That's more important to me than anything else. I don't want the flashy campaigns.
Yeah.
That's for the birds.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of that. What are you gonna do for your local community? How is it gonna benefit your constituency?
I got you.
That's for me.
Yeah. No, that's
what's most important.
That's big. That's
You
big.
know?
That's big. Yeah, I gotta be honest, man. I'm not 100%. This is not politics. Is very, 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 very interesting subject that I try to touch on as much as I possibly can, and try to stay aware of, especially on the national level.
Right.
People die for my opportunity and my right to vote, so I'm going to use that right. But I want to be well informed. With that being said, if I'm not informed, I don't want to give out misinformation.
Bingo.
So I think you hit the nail on the head though. Research, and also make certain that whatever you plan on voting on, that you have a good grasp or general understanding of how the policies will help shape and mold our lives moving forward. Because other than that, we might be could be in destruction right here. Right.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of destruction.
Right. I like that segue. I like that.
Speaking of destruction, Frank Underwood Center has successfully been demolished. For those Austinites who have been here all those years, the arena was housed both a Texas Longhorns basketball team for almost 50 years. It was entirely demolished on Sunday, marking the end of the deconstruction period that had begun in November. The 500,000 square foot 6-story arena was originally built in 1977, considered Austin's primary indoor venue marquee until the Moody Center opened in 2022. In addition of hosting both the University of Texas basketball team, they've done grandiose performances with Taylor Swift, David Bowie, Paul McCartney, number of other events, including boxing, martial arts matches, plus WWE wrestling came here, matter of fact, and UT commencement services. So being that it has been a staple in the Austin community, what do you think, how do you feel about that, man? Is that like, whatever, this is Austin, we're forever changing, or that's like something that, dang.
So I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Frank Erwin Center holds it's a very special place in my heart for a bunch of different reasons. So of course, for people that don't know, I'm born and raised in Austin. My family has been here for generations. My dad's side has been here since the 50s. My mom's side has been here since the 40s. So we've been in the city for some decades at this point. This is what I know. I'm a North Austin baby. So the Erwin Center, growing up, it was always one, before Austin like really exploded growth-wise, it's where everybody went to go graduate, right? Yeah. So all throughout the 90s and the 2000s, once you graduated from high school, no matter which school you went to, if you were in the local area, you went AISD, Pflugerville ISD, Round Rock ISD, et cetera, y'all came down to the Erwin Center for graduation. So that's one. So that's where I graduated from. My parents were, my parents and my family were all in the stands hooting and hollering.
That's my baby.
Right. All that. But, on top of that though, I've experienced a lot of different events there. Of course, I went to Conley High School, and I remember both our girls and boys basketball teams at different times while I was there. Both went to the state semifinals. Made deep runs, and the motto was like, we got to get to the drum. That's what they called it. We got to get to the drum, right? Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to get some rings out of that, but we were there.
Yeah, that's all that mattered.
And we got a chance. So because of the fact that, Conley isn't but maybe 10 miles up the road from the Erwin Center, it was basically a home game. So the whole arena was, black and green, Conley Cougars all over the place. Everybody with the Letterman jackets, like we took over the whole building. Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest memories that I've had in addition to my graduation. And then one more thing, bro. So going back to high school.
Yeah.
Right. So in high school, I played football. Of right. I was a decent player. I did all right. Right. And during that time, this was 2007. Austin had an arena league football team. Really? Yeah, the Austin Wranglers. If you from Austin, if you know about the Austin Wranglers, right? Yeah, Austin Wranglers. So 2007, my senior year, after football season, they had the best players in the city come together for an arena league all-star game, right? And I never played arena football in my life up to that point. I didn't know this is something I had only seen on TV. Yeah. Right. So they had us practice. I think we were at the stadium out in Round Rock, off of Palmer, West Palmer, the Palace.
The Palace.
The Palace on Palmer. So they had us practice there, and this is like the top players in the city. Everybody from Conley, LBJ. Reagan, Bowie, Westlake, it's all over. Lake Travis, everybody. Like if you was doing something as a senior that year, like you were playing in that game.
That's dope.
And so they had us play there. I remember it being a big deal because we had never had anything like that in the city, like an all-star football game. That was never a thing here. So they had that event, and I remember everybody, at least my close friends from Conley coming into there because I got everybody free tickets. Dope. Them coming in, they had the intro. Everybody was cheering us on, all that. Recovered a fumble on the first play of the game.
All right, baby.
Your boy was balling. You know what I mean? But yeah, so overall, kind of taking a step back and looking at it from a macro level, man, the Erwin Center is definitely had a big sentimental place in my heart, being from Austin. I hate to see it go, but with that said though, I do understand that because the city is growing so much that it has to make way for other things that are going to be coming, right? And kind of piggybacking on what you were saying earlier, as far as like potential progress, I think the arena, I think it's going to be demolished to make way for like some additional construction. I think there is the hospital, UT.
Yeah, UT the
treatment,
cancer treatment.
Yeah, cancer treatment. Cancer Treatment Center, MD Anderson. It's 2 hospitals. They're going to be located at the University of Texas at Austin Medical Center, featuring one hospital owned by UT and the other by MD Anderson.
By MD Anderson. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that place.
Yeah.
I wish it could still be around, but I do understand that things have to be, some changes have to be made. It's been around since '77.
Yeah. Gotta move on.
Right.
All right. Here we go. If you had to rank them, all right.
Okay.
Frank Irwin Center.
Okay.
Or Illusions.
Oh, bro. Ooh, not Illusions. Okay. Yo, okay. So for people that don't know, Illusions was a club in Pflugerville in like the mid aughts.
Yeah, right.
The mid aughts. And Pflugerville was probably the most popping club that existed at the time.
Man.
We had any rappers that came to the city, they was going to Illusions.
Going there, yeah.
Even Charlie Boy made a song about
Illusions, yeah.
I look good. Hit that ATX, get it popping in Illusions. That's that spot, right? It's nearby. If you've seen Planet Fitness in Pflugerville, that's what he's talking about. That's where that's at. Oh, man, if I had to compare the two.
That's a long time ago, my boy.
You brought some memories. I remember sneaking in Illusions when I wasn't supposed to before I was 21. So Illusions.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I gotta say, I'm gonna keep it wholesome.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it wholesome.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Irwin Center because if my mama, well, she probably know now. But yeah, I was sneaking in Illusions when I wasn't supposed to. I was in there 18, sneaking into a 21 and up club when I should not have been there.
He said live at 5.
Yeah, I got some stories, and if this was not safe for work, I'll tell y'all about them. Yeah, Illusions is wild times.
That's crazy.
That
is crazy.
At Illusions.
I was curious. I just had to know. I just had to know what's going on. Speaking of which, with UT, want to give a shout out to. We talked about this last podcast episode. Shout out to the number 1 of 1 softball. Was victorious. Oh man, that's
right.
Tongue tie right there. With a run rule effort. So less than 24 hours after opening the 2024 NCAA Austin regulations with the 7th inning no-hitter, University of Texas softball program returned to the McCombs and basically pounded a double-digit run for the 21st time this season, as the top-ranking Longhorns knocked off Northwestern, as we talked about.
Right.
They knocked their block off 14-2 in the 5th inning with the victory on Saturday's game, 94-7. Advancing.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, 14.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't 94.
Yeah, man. Advancing to the regional finals, though. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
You can make sure you check them out on Sunday, May 18th at 12 p.m. Man, how do you feel about this win and their victory?
On this
last Saturday.
I'm proud of the Lady Longhorns, man. They've been doing some work this season, man. I think they're 49-7 at this point. I know they're ranked number 1 in the nation. They're the top seed of the entire bracket.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about this on a previous live that we had done before.
Yep.
This is really a testament, man, to Texas athletics as a whole. Like it seems like Texas, in every sport, not just the top sport, like when it comes to like football and basketball, but Texas seems to be good or at least solid in everything. When you think about golf, when you think about rowing, when you think about swimming, literally at like every sport you can think of, there's not like a quote unquote bad team that Texas has. So I think like I said, this is indicative of just the facilities, the investment, the recruitment, all that stuff. Like Texas has athletes on top of that. Yeah, man. I mean, they're just they getting these chicks up out of here, bro.
He said they get to it.
So we're gonna see what they're gonna do. I know, just like you were saying earlier, they play again on Sunday. This coming Sunday, May 18th, they're going to be playing the winner of Northwestern and St. Francis or Siena. So we'll see who comes out of that to get their block knocked off again. Because it looks like Texas ain't taking no losses.
Oh, so you fully confident?
I think I'm not gonna lie. I mean, because of course the softball World Series it's a little different than like if you look at like a basketball or football. It's not a winner take all.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it's a series.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you play multiple games. You might take one loss, but you still got a shot in the tournament. You know what I mean? I think once you take consecutive losses, I think that's when you're out of there. So yeah, honestly, bro, like at minimum, I feel like they're gonna win the region, right? I don't see Northwestern or St. Francis or Siena touching them.
Yeah,
the closest one probably would have been Northwestern, and you see how that's going.
Yeah. 14-2.
So I think they'll come out of their region unscathed. Like I don't see anybody touching them. I think they'll have a shot to really make a good run. At this national championship. Honestly, I don't see anybody else on the national level really touching them. They maybe at the most might take one loss, maybe.
Oh, so you just that confident?
I mean, unless they like run into like Oklahoma or somebody like that, or
Powerhouse,
one of them powerhouses. But based off of who they got in their bracket, I think it's going to be an easy run to this regional championship. I think that's the important part. Get to your region, and then let things fall where they may.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think they'll be fine. They're a quality team. They're a good ball club, man. Shout out to them ladies. I think they're gonna get them chicks up out of here, man. Shout out to them Lady Longhorns, man. Win a national championship for your boy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how that season turns out.
Shout out to them ladies, and shout out to Coach. I think it's Coach White who's the head coach of the softball team. So shout out. Definitely important for colleges, man. Colleges and experiences, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
So, man, let's see. Since we're talking about colleges, right?
Yeah.
I know this is a story that's near and dear to your heart.
Oh yeah.
Right, as an alum of the illustrious Houston Tillotson University, the oldest HBCU, the oldest collegiate institution in the city of Austin.
Let them know.
Right,
you gotta let them know. You gotta tell them.
So, California's first ever HBCU is set to open this year. So there's actually a collaboration with HT, right? So they partner with the National College Resources Foundation, the San Diego County Office of Education, and the University of La Verne to open satellite campuses in San Diego and LA County. This establishes the first HBCU in the state. I know that's not really much of a thing in California.
Not at all.
So, that's amazing. It marks a significant milestone in expanding access to HBCU education on the West Coast. So I'm curious. So you have a bit of a unique spot in this. One, you from Southern California, right? Palmdale. And also you attended at HBCU, HT.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so I think you have a special perspective on this.
Yeah, no, for sure, because that was one of the reasons why, background story kind of, as we talked about college's experiences, that's one of the reasons why I kind of left. HT was an option that was provided to me by a family member, and gave me a great opportunity to learn and understand myself. But also the HBCU experience was something that, unequatable. It was an amazing experience. It taught me so much. I think the frustrating part was a lot of the colleges and opportunities that I had were primarily and predominantly PWIs. No shade and no fault to them, but I think it would have tarnished my experience in the overall collective.
So I'm curious, and I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
But so coming from California, what ideas do y'all have? Like, what do y'all think of HBCU, since y'all don't have the day-to-day interaction? You only really kind of got it from TV or movies, or what do y'all think y'all are walking into?
You about to make me
coming from Cali.
You about to make you get real relaxed in here. Okay. So the first thought, let me be honest. So when I told everybody I got accepted in college in Texas, my best partner, one of my homeboys, he was like, "Yeah, they still riding horses out there."
Oh,
right?
brother.
Okay. I was like, "Fam, they have they have vehicles out here too, bro.
Right.
Chill." So that was like the culture shock of the experience. But at the same time, it was, it was also the naysaying, like, will you have a quality experience after you graduate? Will people know that name? And it's kind of the irony is some people in Austin still don't know that name. But I will say I won't trade my experience for the world, because it has shown me and crafted me and molded me to the person I am today. So I'm really excited about that. And I think it's going to be a great experience and a great opportunity for the people who want to tap into an HBCU but do not have access, or they don't want to. Realistically, they don't want to relocate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids out here that would like to attend an HBCU, would like to have that HBCU experience, but because of the way HBCUs are set up, they don't have the opportunity to do so. So I think that'll be an amazing idea.
Right.
To have it on the West Coast.
Right. So I was going to say, so for people that aren't aware with this program, so students that are interested in an HBCU, they can get a head start with this program. They have to go through the Ideal Summer Academy. It's a 6-week program held from June 9th to July 20th. It's actually on HT's campus. Participants, any California student that participates will earn up to 9 college credit hours during the summer academy. Upon completing this summer program, students can continue their education at one of HT's California campuses. The satellite campuses are in San Diego and the LA and the IE. Will also be open for this coming fall. Providing basically just a seamless transition for students that are beginning their college careers.
Right.
Eligibility-wise, this is requiring incoming college freshmen or transfer students with no more than 60 credit hours. So this can't be a junior, coming from UCSB.
Hey, so I'm coming to HT.
Right, yeah, be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna hit this HBCU track and see what they talking about. No, you gotta be early. In your college career, applicants must submit $100 commitment fee. Complete your FAFSA, right? Complete your FAFSA for 2023, 2024, and 2024-2025 academic years. It also mandates you have to attend the entire 6-week residential program in Austin if you want to be eligible for this program to be able to attend courses at the new HT satellite campuses in San Diego and LA County.
Okay, nice. I think that's definitely an interesting spin on it, and it definitely gives you an opportunity. And plus, it stays true to its roots, right? HT was founded and to try to help the first year student, which is basically a student that first time generational student, which means a first year student that has never had anyone else in his or her family, go to college and matriculate. So I think it's staying true to that academic route. I like it. I think it's a great idea and a great opportunity for HT to thrive. I mean, what do you think is awesome?
Yeah. So I'm happy that HT so starting off. Shout out to Dr. Wallace.
Yeah.
A 2-hour lunch break podcast alum we've had on the show before. It was an amazing interview. Shout out to her since she's come to her position as president of HT. It's a lot of she's done a lot of groundbreaking initiatives that hadn't been previously thought of, because I would have never thought a HBCU would be in the state of California. I'm gonna be honest. So to expand that brand, she is basically, setting the first HBCU footprint in the state of California. We're talking about basically an untapped market,
right,
when it comes to HBCUs, because most times, kids like you coming from California, y'all gotta cross time zones.
Nah, for real.
To get to HBCUs normally.
Let me tell you,
you know
that
what I
2 hour
mean?
hurt.
Right, yeah, I bet. And so that presents, kids coming, kids like you coming from California, it presents y'all with another option. Like, hey, HBCUs aren't something that's just on TV.
Yeah.
It's not something that's just in a movie, right? Like, this is something tangible, and I don't have to go halfway across the country to, access these institutions, access this, additional culture that I didn't normally get to interact with growing up.
And I think, to your point, I think the other tidbit is there's a research study that was created, and basically the average student, if they live 100 miles away from their university or college, usually have the tendency to drop out.
I can see that.
So having that, individuals that have that grassroots location or site that can go to it, go home, And anybody who knows California, Inland Empire,
Right.
those locations know that, it's going to be traffic. Sorry, one-on-one, got to hit the one-on-one or the 405. But it's going to be, at the end of the day,
Right.
you can get home. And I think the individuals who know that are more likely to stay with the college and university of their choice, of their first choice. And it'll help. It'll help them learn themselves, learn the instructors, learn the teachers, and help them on their overall college experience and journey. I think that's really big and really important.
Big deal. Big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was gonna say, man, while we talking about education, man, let's go to segue into talking about our leaders
Yeah.
when it comes to education.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So local teacher, out in Gerald, in my woods, my neck of the woods. A Gerald ISD teacher is a quarterfinalist in a national teaching competition, right? So Miss Alexandria Cruz is a teacher at the sixth grade leadership for sixth grade leadership and success at Gerald Middle School. She's currently in 7th place within the quarterfinals of America's Favorite Teacher competition. Competing teachers are vying for, I think it's like a $25,000 prize, a trip to Hawaii, right? And an appearance in the Reader's Digest.
Yeah.
For Krause, she says she's motivated and trying to help put Gerald on the map nationally. Anybody knows Gerald is super tiny, but it's growing. Should she come in the first place and receive the $25K prize, she wants to allocate a portion to Gerald Middle School's junior high Bible study for 7th and 8th graders.
That's precious.
So shout out to her.
Shout out to her, man. I think that's huge.
Right. Yeah. An amazing opportunity.
What does the teachers' competition look like? Do you know?
I haven't got a chance to look into the other guests. I've looked into mainly her specifically just because she's right around the corner from us. I do know they apparently have like the quality is very high.
Really?
Yeah, like these are very accomplished teachers. They come from all walks of life, all kind of socioeconomic backgrounds. You got teachers working in poor districts, some teachers working in rich districts, some teachers working in pre-K, some in high school. So it's a little bit of everybody. I was gonna say, I know we've talked about how we feel about teachers,
Right.
on previous lives before. One, I feel like honestly, this competition actually shouldn't even exist. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, if we're gonna keep it a buck, we're gonna keep it a buck. Teachers shouldn't even have to like compete for like a $25,000 prize and like a trip.
Well, if you want me to be real, I think the teachers' competition should be like televised, bro. Like, I want to see this. Like, I want to be able. I want someone to narrate this.
Right.
Cruz from Gerald ISD is in the quarterfinals.
Right.
She's a top pick. I want it like the NBA finals. You know what I'm saying? And when she gets on the ropes with mathematics, she's gonna kill you, right? You know what I'm saying? Her history game might be a little off, but however, at the overall core, she's got a good platform, right, for teaching and directing in this competition. I want to see it. I want to see it go crazy.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be televised. I think it's just gonna be in the Reader's Digest magazine.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes, man. If anybody's aware of the Teacher's Digest, the Reader's Digest, y'all go ahead, man. Y'all vote for it. I think the voting is also available online at thereadersdigest.com. Y'all go ahead and vote for it. Get it that $25K bag.
Yeah.
I'm
Get her
keeping
that
it a
trip to
buck.
Hawaii.
Right. Because teachers, keeping it a buck, we talked about it before. Teachers deserve way more than what they get. They get the compensation is not where it needs to be. They shouldn't even be having to compete for any kind of trip. They should have the money. They should have the finances to be able to pay for something like that out of pocket.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was saying, we need to be paying teachers more in general. Where this competition shouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
But because of where we're at, let's see if we can get her that bag.
Yeah.
Y'all put in a vote for her. She's in 7th place. Get her the first. You know what I mean? And let's get on this trip to Hawaii.
Get her the finalists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? with that being said, let's talk about some of the upcoming events that are going on here in the city of Austin. Definitely want to highlight on Sunday, Zilker Park by the Rocks at 6 p.m. until whenever you plan to leave. Sounds will be by Mel Vibes and Stitch the God. And everything you can bring, they'll offer house music and everything in between. So make sure you guys attend that event if you are free this Sunday.
Let's see what else we got. I know we got also, man, for people that are looking to get outside on Saturday, Firehouse Radio. We got one of our followers, the homie Will to the is gonna be DJing at the Firehouse Lounge, 605 Brazos, downtown this Saturday. Free entry. There's gonna be drink specials as well. Shout out to the homie Will to the. Y'all pull up on the homie and get some good tunes, get some good drinks, turn up. Y'all want to get outside, this is one of the events y'all can be at. So tap in with them.
And then also on Thursday nights we have Tater Q. They're going to have their karaoke nights. Be sure to pull up there. I know it's going to be a portion where children are allowed, but then there's going to be a separate portion where, you got to go. You got to go. I ain't going to say it's going to turn into freak nigga, nothing like that, but the baby's got to go. The baby's got to go. Also on Saturday, they'll be having their Saturday brunch, so make sure you attend that if you are free. Most importantly, Sunday Fun Day. They also turn up on Sundays. Got a DJ, usually DJ...
DJ
Big
Champ.
Big Champ.
Big Champ. Yeah.
Shout out to Big Champ.
Big Champ the God or something like
Champ
that?
the God. Yeah, shout out to the Champ the God. Make sure y'all tune in and make sure y'all tap in to Tater Q.
Yep. In addition to that, I know we talked about it last time. This is happening every Wednesday. Tomorrow, if you want some seafood, you want crustaceans, you want shrimp, you want some catfish, anything that comes out of the water, pull up to Down South Cajun Eats, Pflugerville. They got Seafood Boil Wednesday. Shout out to the twins, man. They're good guys.
Yes.
Been on the show before.
Alums of the show.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And they frat brothers with with the homie Saints. Shout out to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I'm trying to get the name right. I don't want the noops on my head. You know what I mean?
You do it all right. You do it all right.
Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah.
Shout out to the noops.
Yeah.
But yeah, tomorrow, Seafood Boil Wednesdays, man. Y'all pull up on them boys. Check them out. Get some seafood. It's good vibes. I don't know if you've seen the social media, man. It's always a good time with them people, man. Check them out. They got good food, good music, good drinks, man. Tap in with them.
And most importantly, definitely make certain that you shout out. I want to give a special shout out to Do Not Disturb Collective.
Oh, yeah.
They've had some events coming out as well. But I believe their brunch. Did their brunch already pass?
Yeah, I know they had the Jiang brunch last Sunday, but I think they're doing a Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah, they are doing a Sunday Fun Day.
They're doing a Sunday Fun Day this weekend. We got to do some additional research to get y'all the location, but we will be getting y'all that information ASAP. Do Not Disturb always have the live events. We pulled up on Do Not Disturb before.
Dope.
Shout out to the homie Saunders. Shout out Jazz. Good people. They are also alums of the 2-Hour Lunch Break.
Yes.
Man, we had an amazing conversation with them last season. Tap in with them as well. Get you some good vibes. It's beautiful people all over the place. All that. I'm married, so I can't participate in that. But I'm just letting y'all know if that's the vibe you're trying to get into.
Go on out there.
You got options. If you're looking for a baddie, no matter the gender, that's where they at.
Go on out there.
You know what I mean?
Get blessed, my brother. Get
Right.
blessed.
Yeah. Right. So man,
Tap
in with them. Tap in with them.
Yeah, and all right, y'all. Well, that's another edition of the 1-Hour Lunch Break, 1-Hour News Break podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you guys for being here with us. Big shout out to the productions behind the boards. You can find him at Cafe Yodo, and salute to our home studios, Dawa Studios.
So y'all know where to find us. We're streaming on all platforms. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at 2HLBpod and on X at the 2-Hour Lunch. To stay in the loop with all things 1-Hour News Break and 2-Hour Lunch Break. We got more in store for y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be here every Tuesday. We out.
Peace.
See y'all around.
And we back. Zeus P, Tank Jew. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-Hour Lunch Break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J.